Hello, hi Victor. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for inviting me to the interview.
Yeah, Victor, where are you right now? Where do you live?
I live in Israel.
You live in Israel. Wonderful. Uh, we are today, talking to you because you have spent quite a lot of time training Arjun, who is now India number three. He was India number two, but Gukesh and him have this sort of thing going on where Gukesh became India number two yesterday. So he's world number 19 now, also reached 27, 30. And so we wanted to just ask you a bit about your work with him. How many years did you work with Arjun and when did it begin?
Uh, it all started, I think, when he was around 11 or 12, something like that. His level was about 2300, maybe a little bit under 23.
So he was around 2300 and 12 years old. And till
Mhm.
what point did you work with him? Till what rating?
Till maybe 2550, we
Okay,
worked constantly, and then we just had some lessons.
fantastic. So I wanted to know, like, how did it all begin? I think you had mentioned that it was he contacted you from somewhere, yes?
Yes, that's
So,
right.
so how did it happen? Like, was it like he found some details online and then contacted you?
Yeah, most likely, yeah, because yeah, I used to train also some other Indian players, so probably that's how he found me. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know exactly. But,
And so when you began working with him, how was it? How was the work with him? And could you remember a few things? Because it's been 5 6 years now since you began working,
yes.
but do you remember?
Yeah, I remember a few things. At least he was already a pretty strong player, of course, even though his rating was like a little bit under 2300. But yeah, you could feel that he has a great potential. Like his calculation was really fast and precise, and I mean that what helps him now as well, I believe.
Hmm.
Also in these rapid and blitz tournaments, that's really important.
Right.
Yes. So we started analyzing his games, and we also worked a lot on end games. So his technique is also very good right now. Obviously, it was not only because of the lessons; he worked a lot on his own.
Right.
Uh, yeah, yeah, but he started to accumulate knowledge, and at some point he jumped from like around 2300 to like 2450, 2480. And in 1 year, he made all of his IM and GM norms when he
Yes.
was 14.
Right. I believe it was 8 months in which he achieved all of that.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a big breakthrough.
Hmm.
And during the CS, he also asked me if he's playing like 2400 player and what does he have to do to improve. And so, yeah, and suddenly he jumped like that.
So he has these jumps, right? Because when from
Yeah,
2300 he reached nearly 2500, and from
yes,
2550
yeah,
within a year, I guess, he's reached
yes,
2730. I think
yes.
that jump is even more mind-boggling.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. But he just probably accumulates knowledge and then it goes right away. He goes all the way.
But did you sense it during that point? As you said, he was very good at calculation. But
Yeah.
you yourself are such an experienced trainer. You've seen so many top players. You've played with them. Did you also feel that in Arjun? Do you think that it's something that he had was special?
Well, yeah. of course, I didn't know that he's gonna be such a great player, that he'll go over 2700. But of course, I could feel that he can easily become a GM. But how strong he's gonna be, it was impossible to predict.
True, true. I spoke to his parents recently and they said that he was very passionate about chess. Like whenever you kept him away from the game, he would start to get really fidgety and he would be like, when can I restart playing?
Yeah, that's obviously one of the important qualities of a chess player. You have to love the game, right? If you don't love the game, even if you work a lot, it may not help.
Very cool. Did you also recommend him some books to read during this phase?
Yeah, it was both books, and I also sent him some homework, which he
Okay.
did.
And are there some books, do you remember, like which he worked on during that period?
Not really, frankly. It was quite a while ago.
Sure. And there are a few games of his that you have liked and you picked one of them.
Yes.
So can we have a look at that and why did you choose that game?
It The game was played when he was on his way to become a grandmaster. I believe he has already got his AM title or was about to get it.
Hmm.
And he beat a gem in this game very easily without any visible efforts. So it already showed how strong he is and his potential.
Yeah, because Lalit Babu is a very experienced player and quite a strong GM. So
Yes.
we can have a look at this game. Arjun is white, Lalit is black, d4, knight
Mhm.
f6, and bishop g5. And the funny thing is, even yesterday against Ivanchuk, Arjun
Mhm.
played this move, Trompowski.
Yes, he still likes the system. Yeah.
Do you still follow his games?
Yes, of course.
Ah, wonderful. So c5,
Hmm.
d5, queen b6, and now he's attacking the b2 pawn. And
Hmm.
Arjun sort of sacrifices that pawn. He goes knight
Yeah,
c5.
that's in fact a well-known theoretical line, queen d6, but somehow it looks a little suspicious for black because taking on b2 is pretty dangerous, and if you don't take, then you just wasted time and the queen gets misplaced. And
Right.
that's what happened in the game, in fact.
So I mean, if you have said queen b6, you must go for queen b2. You can't then
Yeah,
change your mind.
that's basically a must if you played queen d6. But in the game, Lalit hesitated,
At
and
6,
it turned out that his queen is just misplaced.
bishop d2 was played, and
Yeah,
now
also h6, I think it wasn't the best. He had to take the pawn and just go for this position, even though
correct.
white has very strong compensation.
Right. So bishop d2, d6.
Yes.
Arjun went e4.
Hmm.
Now e5 was played.
Yeah, maybe also not the best, but black's position is already unpleasant, in fact.
Hmm. So he took. I mean, generally you don't take these because you have space advantage, and you don't want to take like in like old Benoni or some structure. You don't take d6.
Here, first all h6 was played, so after d6, fe6 will be not so great. The g6 square will be weak.
Uh,
And after, yeah, in this position. And if you take with the bishop, what happened in the game, Arjun had a very strong idea in mind.
so
He
Arjun.
played knight g2.
Ooh,
So it also shows his good positional understanding, of course, already at this point of his career. So the d5 square is really weak, and the knight is coming to f4, after which it will be very difficult for black to play.
right.
And
So
now playing d5 is not great for black. If, say, black plays d5, he just takes, e takes, knight takes, bishop takes. He plays knight f4. The bishop has to go back to c6, let's say, and the bishop c4 with a very strong attack.
right.
A nice development for white, of course.
This is overwhelming position. So Lalit didn't opt for opening up the position instantly. He went knight c6.
Yeah, but then after knight f4, d5 is already impossible.
Correct.
So the d6 pawn is remaining weak, and his position is very unpleasant.
Right. So he long castled here.
Yeah, so he long castle.
And Arjun played
Bishop
bishop
d3.
d3.
Yeah, he just goes with the development. Yeah.
And g5.
Yeah, g5 also a little suspicious. Maybe knight e5 would be better, but still, it's still not so great for black.
Right.
At least he wouldn't weaken his king side like he did in the game.
Right. So g5. Knight went to d5.
Yeah.
He took. Knight takes here.
Yeah, also e takes is good, but both moves are good in fact. Because now the, let's say, the f5 square is weak. Right.
So he decided to take with the knight. Knight takes, pawn takes. And
Yes.
I think this check is some kind of a small achievement for black, that the white king is still in the center. But
yeah, why doesn't have to play king f1, right? He just played bishop e3, so it didn't change that much.
Right. So he went knight e7. He could have gone
yeah,
here.
knight e5 is probably a little better, but still white's position is better after short castle.
So knight e7.
Yeah, but his idea is clear. He wants to go for f5. Yeah, because his f7 pawn is a backward pawn, so he wants to push the f5.
So Arjun here went for queen f3.
Yeah, which looks like a very natural move. In fact, computer says it's even better to just castle and prepare the move b4, which is also an extremely strong idea.
So if f5, you...
still b4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a very strong idea. The point is that he just opens the b file. And the move f4 is not dangerous at all, because he can just trade on c5 and... yeah, even if he retreats the bishop or plays rook b1 first.
Rook b1.
Extremely unpleasant.
This king starts to get very loose, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, queen f3 was played against f5. And so when Lalit
it was played against f5 to exploit also this pawn on f7. So it looks very natural. I mean, I would probably also play queen f3, especially in some blitz or rapid game, without much thinking.
Right. So queen f3, he castled, and then went rook h f8.
H to f8. So as you can see, black is still trying to prepare f5. And again, Arjun's reaction was very natural. He played h4 before black pushed the f pawn, right, to exploit black's king side, especially because black cannot take that pawn. Yeah, queen g4 check is coming.
Queen g4, and he loses the bishop here.
Yes. In fact, the move h4 turns out to be mistaken according to computer, but it still looks very natural.
It reminds us of these lines of Slav when or Queen's Gambit, when you have a6 b5 and white goes for a4 to stop c5.
Yes, it's a similar idea on the other side.
Right. But do you think like bishop f5 also made sense, or to stop f5? Maybe not, yeah?
Maybe also possible, but the problem is that after the exchange, maybe black can later play like rook e5. Even though rook e5, queen h7 will be played, so I'm not sure.
Right. Okay, so...
Might still work, yes. But computer shows here a very strong idea again, rook a b1. Allowing f5, but once again preparing b4.
Right.
And it turns out that the idea of f4 is not that strong. Even if black plays f4, it's nothing. First of all, here b takes c5 would be just crushing. But even if not that, the bishop had to go to d2, it's not a big deal.
Correct. So, yeah, he should have gone rook a b1, but he played h4. And now f5 on the board.
Yes. So, in fact, f5 was also inaccurate. Yeah, but it was difficult to play correctly here as black. So computer shows that the correct move is bishop e5, just giving up that pawn. h takes, bishop takes, f6, bishop goes back, like bishop, yeah, f4, and then just king b8 and shows that it's an equal position, but it's not that obvious, right?
Right.
Because white is up a pawn and it doesn't look like black has something serious on the king side.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, it doesn't feel that way, but I guess
Yeah,
just the fact that he can use the H file maybe to attack somehow put
yeah,
them in
h and g
corner.
files are open, and yeah, and white doesn't really have any attack now on the queen side. So
Right. So he went F5 here.
yeah,
Arjun took.
f5 also looks like a very natural move, yeah, because that's what he was preparing, yeah, for the whole game there.
Hmm.
And yeah, but he loses now the g5 pawn, h takes bishop g5, so now
And
it's
he
just a
can't even
bishop.
do this because there is always this check here.
Yeah, there is an intermediate check on the diagonal, right?
Right. So
Yeah, so
HG
he
he
had to
took.
take back. Yeah, white is just up a pawn now, and here basically he committed a suicide by playing queen takes b2. Bishop e5 was still necessary instead, and still some practical chances, but obviously white is better.
Hmm. So he took rook
Yeah,
a
he took
b1.
rook a b1. The problem here is that bishop b5 is coming.
Oh yes, bishop b5, and then this rook has to move, and the knight is hanging.
Yeah, so he's just gonna win an exchange. So black tried queen c3 in order to pin the bishop, but rook b3. Yeah, and pinning the
Queen if.
bishop, and yeah, bishop b5.
And
And now
now
it,
there's this threat as well.
yes, if rook d8, then rook e3 is coming. So
Right.
now it's basically game over. So he played f4, but yeah. And white can take right away on e8. Arjun decided to give a check first on h3.
And his opponent actually resigned here.
He resigned, yeah. Well, it's basically it's a lost position, right? So
Right.
he saw that, let's say, if king b8, he takes on e8 and queen d7 with a win. Yeah, with a double attack.
And if bishop e8 you take here, still I think.
Probably still something like this.
And
Or
then
rook takes b7 maybe works as well.
right, with the bishop here, the rook
Queen
joining and the
d7 is
queen.
coming, the
Yeah.
rook comes to b1.
So yeah, very nice. I think the main thing which to be seen in the game is the just simplicity with which he won.
Yeah, and it looks like a faultless win for white, right?
Correct. Correct. Right. So this was a very nice game. And one of the things which I have been thinking about, and I wanted to get your thoughts as well, is when players like Arjun, also Gukesh, there is also Nadir Bek, Abdus Sattarov, Vincent Kaimar,
Yeah.
all these players who are very young and are actually moving up the ladder with ratings of 27, 20, 27, 30, and so on. Do you think
Mhm.
that things are changing in the chess world? Like earlier, everyone thought that in order to reach here, you need to play super tournaments, you need to have experience of facing the best players in the world. But here is Arjun, who has faced, I think, one top 10 player or top world like Dominguez, whom he beat in the Olympiad. They haven't played many super tournaments.
Yeah, no, not yet. They just didn't have time because their race was so fast. But yeah, but I believe they all belong to the very top of the world. So you can see by their games, right?
Right.
Even though they haven't beaten maybe many 2700 players in the classical game, but they played a lot against them in Rapid and Blitz, and they showed that they can play against them.
Do you think experience no longer plays a role, such a big role?
It does play a role, of course, but they get experience also in the faster time controls now, I think.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
because
they're not really afraid of those players. Yes, they played against them a lot of blitz rapid games. And, they know that they can beat them.
right, right. Amazing. And I think you yourself are very active, right? As a player, you recently played tournaments. I remember seeing one of your games with Pragnananda. You played with him as well.
Yes,
So,
yes, I'm still active. Yes, as a player.
and what do you think overall about this all these Indian top players, like Indian youngsters who are very strong. Like it's a sort of a wonderful era of chess with 4 to 5 very strong youngsters.
Yeah, indeed, extremely strong players. Yeah, it promises a bright future for India. Yeah, they're all extremely strong. I played already against some of them. Like I played against Gukesh and Pragnanandga, in fact, in the same tournament.
Ah, in the same event you played with both, huh?
Yeah, against both of them. Yeah, I could feel how strong they are.
Amazing. And lastly, do you think like Arjun just keeps moving up now? Last time when I had interviewed you, it was a written interview, and I asked you like, do you think he can become one of the best in the world? Now that he's already one of the best in the world, I have to ask you, do you think he can become the world champion?
Yeah, I think anything is possible. He shows, I mean, his results show that he is capable of doing it.
Well, thank you so much, Victor, for your time, and it was pleasure talking to you. I think you worked with Arjun and held his hand when it was his building phase, and today we can see how strong he has become. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.